Giannis is out of all these players is I think not by far, but he's clearly the best regular season player. That's why he has two straight MVPs. Two straight MVPs is the best regular season player. Uh, I think that's pretty obvious.
James
And
Harden? If we're talking about just regular season, I might have to have James Harden number one.
count defense, and I don't think it's close.
Yeah, but 5 straight years in top three
Or like,
MVP.
well, two straight years as the best record in the league for the Bucks, and two straight MVPs. But regular season, say what you
Doesn't
want
matter.
about it.
Yeah,
He looks like the best player in the league 95% of the time, but like when he runs, like you said, when he runs into a team that like has the kind of personnel that can slow him down, build out wall, he doesn't really know what to do. He doesn't have counters for that. Like
yeah.
he doesn't shoot, obviously. Um, but I just don't think two straight back to back MVPs, a defensive player of the year. I don't I I think it's really, really disrespectful to have him under some of the guys that you have him under right now. Like he's
Ev-
clearly the best. Like it's his league right now, like you said.
no, I
I
can't.
don't. You literally.
Everyone I have before him has a Finals MVP. And have as a Finals MVP. Okay, besides Curry, but Curry should have a Finals MVP. Like they've all been the best player on a championship team. They've all proven that you could build a team around them and win a championship. And I think out of those players that don't have Finals MVPs, Giannis is the best. That's why he's number 5 on my list. He's above Anthony Davis. He's above James Harden. But the guys in front of him have been the best player on a championship team. And at the end of the day, even though I don't like it because it causes super teams to form, championships is what matters. Championships is going to determine your worth in this league. And until Giannis wins a championship, he can't move above those guys 1, 2, 3, 4, in my opinion.
Well, I
Even if he averages like 40, 20, and 20, like he's still
are
going to
we
be
talking
fifth.
about the most accomplished players in the league, or the right now who are the best players in the league?
Like
Because
right now, who are the best players? Because you can't take away from Curry just because he's been deferring to Kevin Durant for the last 2 years. And
no, I don't.
like
I don't think. No, no, no. I don't. I just think if you ask any GM right now, you want
for
to.
next season,
No, yeah, for next season, who do you want on your
oh,
team, Giannis or Steph Curry? I think
no
all of them.
chance.
I pick Giannis 100%.
No.
First of all, he's more durable. Um,
Okay, yeah. If you're counting durability, then yeah, Steph Curry's gonna go under.
you're going to win more regular season games with him as your best player. You're gonna have a higher seed. You just are. Um,
You say that, but Steph Curry led the best regular season team of all time, 73-9.
yeah, that was what, like 4 years ago.
But all
Um,
he had was defenders. Like all you need to do to win with Steph Curry is put defenders and Klay Thompson, and you already have a championship
yeah,
contender.
and I say that ask the GM thing because I do blame the roster construction for some. Not obviously, I'm not going to say Giannis is without blame in the playoffs, but I mean it's so obvious that they needed a second playmaker or even like a primary playmaker like a Chris Paul in this team. I think
Mhm.
that's an automatic championship team, and I think the narrative and the view of Giannis around the league would be probably the consensus number one player in the league if he had a player like that, because we
Yeah,
wouldn't see the him getting exposed at pretty much every playoff round.
yeah. Man, I just don't know because this current Bucks team, in my opinion, is comparable to the team that Curry won his first championship with Klay Thompson and Chris Middleton kind of being the same player back when Klay was in 2015. Draymond Green kind of being a similar player to Brook Lopez. Uh, Iguodala and Bledsoe kind of being obviously Iguodala a little bit better, but they're kind of comparable. And at the end of the day, Curry was able to win a championship with that roster, and
Yeah,
then
but
he
that's the thing.
won
That was in
2 more championships.
2015. That was in 2015.
Well, we can't talk about anything else because he had Kevin Durant with him, and they were just dominating the league. So I can't be like, look at this stat because you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, he was a second option with Kevin Durant. But they dominated the league till this year when they were hurt. Like they've only lost because they were hurt. Like they've never lost unless they were hurt. Like they just win
Yeah,
everything. So
that it's just
yeah,
it's hard because
he has to be top three.
I
It's
definitely can
disrespectful.
I definitely can see uh him being a top three player. Like he is definitely good enough talent wise and everything to be a top three player. It's just we have not seen him without
Kevin
four
Durant,
MVPs on his team, three MVPs on his team, or three
one
sorry
MVP.
three another MVP and three or four All Stars on his team. We literally have not seen that for like 4 years.
Yeah, the
So it's
last
kind
time
of just hard to judge him, you know?
yeah, the last time we saw it, he was unanimous MVP though. So like,
Okay,
how you gonna
again,
have him at
5 years
fifth
ago. We're like
4 years
just gonna
ago?
disagree on this. I
Yeah, you're gonna change your opinion. I think. I think Curry, if he stays healthy, he's gonna be.
so
He has to be.
you're telling me right now that next season, assuming health and everything,
Mhm.
Curry's gonna be more successful than Giannis next season.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think
First of all, Giannis is gonna be graded on such a harder scale because he won two MVPs, but he sucked. So he could literally be averaging 35, and I don't think he'll win MVP.
Oh, he's not winning MVP no matter what. Yeah, he could average 40. He's not winning MVP.
Yeah, but I think if Steph Curry gets the first seed, I think he's winning MVP.
Yeah, I agree.
So
But
like,
MVP doesn't. It's a so much of it is narrative. I don't really think it
yeah,
reflects.
but then we have to give Curry credit too because Dame has similar teams. Luka Doncic has similar teams where it's just like shooters and defenders, but Curry's always making them the best seed. Curry's always making them like win championships or make the finals or make the conference finals. And like, I don't know, man. Like people always talk a lot about Clay, but Clay really doesn't dribble. Like
He doesn't.
there's
40
a
points on 4 dribbles.
there's a comparison with Clay and Duncan Robinson. Obviously, I think Clay's much better.
I made that comparison earlier on the
Yeah, but
podcast.
the fact that there's comparisons like that, and he's the second best player, you have to put Steph Curry so much higher than these other guys. Like he was a unanimous MVP. I think people just forget that. Like I'm gonna rate him on his unanimous MVP season that he could bounce back to, because the other
Hmm.
4 years he was just doing what the team needs him to do to win,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be interesting. That's why a lot of people had him in fantasies drafted high last year because a lot of people believe that he could come back, but it's gonna be interesting. He
See,
definitely can make a push into top three. You have to admit, like he can push into the
oh,
top three.
100%. Like I I really want to see what that team looks like with him as the clear best player. It's just that he hasn't. We just haven't been able to judge him properly because he's
Yeah,
always had Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson on his team. It's hard. I don't know.
yeah. And before Kevin Durant joined, I think people forget that he was number two, like in the rankings. Like he had surpassed Kevin Durant because he just won a championship and led a 73-9 team.
Yeah.
He had surpassed Kevin Durant in like this ranking, and he was number two behind LeBron James. So like people really kind of forgot about Curry and how popular he was, how exciting his game was to watch. He was like the Dame stretch that Dame had after the All Star break.
Hmm.
Imagine that for a whole season, and
Yeah.
that's Steph
Two whole
Curry.
seasons,
Yeah,
really. Um. Yeah. I really hope. Like I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him because I like if he actually does you know uh lead the team to a number one or number two seed next year and goes really far in the playoffs. Yeah, I'll put him over Giannis. I just think right now we've seen more recently from Giannis. Uh, back to back MVP. Like you're rating Curry based on his unanimous MVP. I'm rating Giannis based on his back to back MVPs.
hmm
Um, and his defense and everything like that.
yeah. Why didn't you punish Giannis? Like he had a horrible season against the Miami Heat. They were down 3-0 before he got injured. You can't just be like, "Oh, he got injured. That's why they lost." No, they were
Yeah,
down 3-0, about to get swept, and then people still have him in the top three. Like, man, he was about to get swept. Yes, I know Kawhi lost a 3-1 lead, but the only thing worse than losing a 3-1 lead is getting swept. And Giannis has never beat the Buck. Giannis never beat Heat. Chris Middleton beat the Heat once he got hurt, but Giannis
hmm
never beat the Heat. So Giannis essentially got swept.
I
Like, he was so bad that series. He couldn't do anything. He was shooting threes. Like, he was just rushing his shots. He wasn't even
yeah
guarding the best player. Yeah, Giannis just gave up. Wasn't even guarding Jimmy Butler. He was guarding Jay Crowder. Like, we could blame it on the system over and over again, but we know how much pull and power superstars have. Like, I'm pretty sure if Giannis said, I'm going on Jimmy Butler, I don't think Coach
yeah
Bud's going to be like, nah, sit on the bench.
yeah
Like, he has to be held accountable and he has to prove himself again. This is like when LeBron lost to the Boston Celtics and could have made those finals runs against Kobe and stuff like that. Like this is Giannis's big losing point. That's why people expect him to leave because they don't think he can do it with this roster. But Giannis has to prove himself next season. He's back into like kind of like square one. Like he has to prove that he is a superstar that can lead
I
a
agree
team.
with that. So LeBron is 30. This is going to be his age 36 season, and he just won a championship. I think I think the time has like passed for we. Even if Giannis, let's say Giannis or Kawhi wins the championship next year, like they're not really taking the crown from LeBron James if that happens. Like he just won a championship in his age 35 season. Like
Yeah,
if I don't know, I it's still his league no matter what happens. That's just how I feel. I don't
I
know.
think the only player that could take it, in my opinion, is Steph Curry. I think a Steph Curry championship
Okay,
would
that's fair
do
because it would be like I was just
crazy.
injured too, and
Yeah,
I actually was better than you this whole time. And
yeah.
now that I'm healthy with my own team,
It's like
it's
I
actually
want a
fair. Yeah,
championship. I want a
yeah,
championship with my own team. I
yeah,
let someone else come here to
yeah,
win championships with him. He
yeah,
left. I
yeah,
still win championships.
yeah.
Oh man, like Steph Curry has this is the
Okay,
biggest season in Steph Curry's career because if he wins the MVP and a championship, I think he passes Magic Johnson as the best point guard of all
yeah, he
time.
probably has to.
And
Yeah,
I think he honestly enters the top 10 all time list with a performance like that. Or at
I
least
think
he's really, at least
I think
close.
Thanks for watching. Listen to the Stretch the Floor podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on Instagram.